Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I'm the RuneScape Lorehound and today I'm covering something slightly different. We're going to have a chat about the path of the Creators Yak Track. Some background firstly. I largely ignored Yak Tracks. They weren't really my cup of tea. I'm very close to maxing, so the skill tasks aren't really what I'm looking to do. I'm not massively interested in cosmetics either. Some are nice, of course, but I wouldn't usually go out of my way to gain them. However, one thing I am a sucker for in RuneScape, as I'm sure is pretty obvious to most of you, are the Gillenorian stories and RuneScape's vast world of lore. So, when Jagex announced that a Yak Track was being released which had lore attached to it, for once I took some interest. They describe it here that all is not well in the world of Gillenor. Johannes Olsbrecht, leader of the Dangerous Humans Against Monsters cult, has found a new ideology to latch onto, that of the great and terrible Elder Gods. This time you won't be just completing tasks and earning great rewards, you'll also find out what Johannes is up to. Can you put a stop to it before things get out of hand? Unfortunately, the advertising team went a bit over the top on this one, and we'll be covering the story a little later on. My first experience of a Yak Track was certainly interesting. The tasks started out fairly straightforward and short, and I started to think that I could get this Yak Track done pretty quickly. The tasks then obviously got progressively longer, and I didn't get it all completed until the 21st of September. Even then, I had 3 skips that I'd stored up from previous Yak Tracks which I used to skip tasks that I just didn't want to do. I even have fallen behind in reclaiming my Master Quest Cape, as when I had free time to play RuneScape, I would be trying to finish the Yak Track tasks over doing the new tasks required for the MQC. Oh, and just a quick note that I've killed 1,300 node on Dragonkin from Neresa's bloody journal and I still haven't got it, so that's fun. Anyway, let's talk about the story. The story established for the path of the Creators Yak Track was called Occultist's Journey, which follows the journey of Johannes Olsbrecht, the leader of the HAM cult, or the Humans Against Monsters cult. One pro that I will give to Jagex is that it was nice to see a character who had long been forgotten about return to the forefront. Well, maybe not so forefront, but at least it was nice to see his story continued. I have not seen that character since the Dorgashun questline, which I completed many years ago. The story plays out where Olsbrecht had become fascinated by the Elder Gods and started to worship them, as he believed that they would be supportive of the HAM cult, which is a humorous plotline to say the least. Unfortunately, regarding pros for the lore-based Yak Track, there aren't sadly many more. Why is that, you may ask? Because out of a whopping 50 tasks, only 4 of them were about the story of Olsbrecht and his journey. Worse yet, the lore-based tasks were very lackluster in that they only took a maximum of 5 minutes each to complete. I probably completed each lore task in 3 minutes, to be honest. Oh, and just ignore the timer for the minute, it will become clear what I'm doing in a minute. Anyway, when a Yak Track is supposed to entice lorehounds, 4 short tasks out of 50 is a little insulting to me. 4 lore-based tasks that involved talking to 2 people each time, mixed with hours of skilling, killing monsters, bossing and completing clue scrolls certainly isn't going to get many lorehounds coming back, nor is it going to entice new players to get more into the lore in my opinion. We got 15 minutes, or for myself 12, of new lore in exchange for hours upon hours of skilling and killing. The only saving grace of this skilling were the numerous skill and kill tasks which enabled me to fish while studying. Why couldn't we have had something a little more substantial in the lore? Maybe the Yak Track could have set the scene for a new quest. Perhaps it could have unlocked some new humorous dialogue about Olsbrecht with key characters who are a part of the Elder God War story. For example, when speaking to Serin, it would have been interesting to speak about Olsbrecht with her, and not just pretend like his short side story hadn't existed to anyone else but him and the World Guardian, or you, the player. I also was intrigued to see whether Olsbrecht had any new dialogue when returning to the HAM dungeon, and unfortunately, he doesn't, as you can see here. It is sad to see that despite only being in Sentiston a couple of days ago, he doesn't seem to remember his journey. He says nothing about the Elder Gods to you at all. He speaks like you've just completed one of the quests in the Dorgashun questline. This seems like a big missed opportunity here. They could have updated his character dialogue with what he has just experienced. It's such a shame that creating the lore for this Yak Track seemed pretty haphazard and slightly sloppy. But hey, that is just my opinion, the opinion of one of the lorehounds of RuneScape. I would love to hear what your opinions are on yak tracks in general, whether you completed this yak track for the same or a different reason to me, or just a general point about anything I've said in this video. So, a quick thing about the timer. The timer is how long it took me to complete one of the 4 tasks, which were lore based, and as you can see, we are hitting around the 3-minute mark now. Let's speed this up slightly. And the final time is 3 minutes and 18 milliseconds. So as you can see, pretty short. Well, all I know is that Jagex, if you want more people, especially lorehounds, to participate in the yak tracks, please make the lore and story meaningful and longer than 12 minutes in total. When you've got to spend multiple hours completing tasks to unlock 3 minutes of lore 4 times during your yak track journey, it doesn't really become worth it. Not for something that can be found on the wiki. I certainly won't be rushing to the next lore based yak track, that's for sure. So I hope you enjoyed this slightly different video. I will be continuing with the A to Z guide very soon. I'm in the middle of editing part 9. But if you like these kind of content where I kind of talk about lore based content in RuneScape, then please let me know. They are easier to make, and obviously with my studying commitments, they can kind of be a middle ground where if I don't have time to make a guide, I can still upload something. If people are interested in what I have to say about lore content. So if it is something that you quite enjoyed, as well as having the A to Z guides come out, then please do let me know. Thanks very much for watching, and please post your opinion on yak tracks in the comments.